Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you are having a wonderful morning. I ended up rerolling last night because I wasn't super happy with just kind of nothing at all going my way. So I ended up doing a Pathfinder, and we kind of lucked out a little bit because we got a couple of fairly decent nodes. And kind of where we are at is we got field medicine, we got replenishing remedies, we have Revenge of the Hunted, we have a Chaos Mastery, we have Heart of Oak, we have a Flask Mastery, We have a mana reservation mastery. This is supposed to be a flask mastery, so we're gonna go in here and get a second flask mastery. And then from there, we're probably just gonna start kind of going this way. So that's kind of the plan for today. And just so you can kind of see like exactly where we're at. Give me just 1 second. I need to go AFK for just a moment while I do something real quick. I will be right back, guys. All right, sorry about that. So we're back. All right, so kind of what to expect here is that we are going to be weird. Is Twitch not working? So Twitch isn't wanting to work. But it looks like Kick's working just fine, which is so weird. Super duper weird. Oh well. Well, Twitch will... I don't know why Twitch does not like working. It just does not like working on my computer for whatever reason. It never has. Anyway, we're just gonna just forget about it. We'll just keep going here. And kind of what to go off of, and kind of just so you're aware of kind of what we're doing here, is we are just trying to get basically Poisonous Concoction and like 38% AoE. And that should be enough to basically carry us, no matter what the ascendancies are. Now, it does look like there might be some potential in Pathfinder for things that we would want to do, but it doesn't mean that it's like a guaranteed type of deal. And so it's just going to be one of those where we're just going to have to wing it and just kind of see how it goes, and we'll kind of go from there. And maybe it's great, maybe it's not. We'll see. We'll see. But we're gonna just be Poisonous Concoction with the way through things. I decided that rerolling was probably better than trying to level as Quinn. So leveling as Quinn just did not sound like a fantastic time to me. So we'll kind of do this for a little while, and then kind of see where we go from there. The idea hopefully is to hit at least our first ascendancy today. At least our first ascendancy is what we're really banking on. And then if we can do that, I'll be pretty happy. I don't want to completely so I'm really bad about like going really sweaty on the normal game. And I try to kind of chill a little bit more on the event side of things, because like I'm playing Solo Self-Found like it's for fun. It's not to be serious or anything like that. I just enjoy it, and it's like Krangeled's an event in itself. And if you can get something to quasi work, or you get something that's really busted, either way you're gonna have a great time. And so kind of what we are doing now is just trying to get it where it's like halfway functional, and we're pretty much there. Like, I'm not losing all my life flask every time that I throw one of these. So that's like, we're getting there. We're getting there, you know? It isn't the most solid thing yet, but we also don't have like rolled flask or anything like that, so it just kind of is what it is. But it should get quite a bit better pretty quickly here. And if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer as always. Yeah. Yep. So we're getting close. We're about halfway through a level. Here in about 3 or 4 more levels, we should be in a pretty good spot. Really, once we get the removal of everything that's non-element, we're in a pretty good spot. Like, you kind of want to prioritize in Solo Self-Found being able to live, while being able to do some damage. Like, it doesn't have to be crazy damage. Like, this isn't standard where, you know, you're gonna get like crazy gear. I do already have 1 unique from my first run. I haven't dropped another one since. This is actually my 3rd run. I did 2 off stream, just trying to find something that would work, and I found something that would work kind of as Shadow, and then I just realized that it would probably be better to go to Ranger because the pathing just makes more sense. Because I'm gonna want to come down. So basically, like, the idea here is this is going to be a flask mastery right here. This is aggressive bastion, or this is aggressive bastion. One of these two is, which is really strong. That gives us endurance charges just for having a shield. So it gives us like a really high amount of tankiness. Then we also get a lovely, there's a couple of pretty decent ascendancy choices. One of them is unflinching, which I'm kind of really tempted to get first. The other thing I would really like is a recovery mastery, because if you can get any of the recovery masteries, they give you a 50 flat life regen, which is quite a bit of survivability. Okay, we're skipping that guy. He is too tank, must avoid. It's like, I'll try to kill it for a little bit, but we don't have the overlap. So in case you aren't familiar with like how Poisonous Concoction mechanically works, you kind of want to run it with multiple projectiles, and you want to get just enough AoE. You want to hit 38% AoE because that gives you a radius of 21, and that makes it where if you have GMP and volley both attached, they overlap, which is kind of the goal, because that gives us boss damage, and it gives us just a ton of stacking poison for most targets. And so since kind of the goal is to get just a little bit of area of effect, you don't need a whole lot, because the gem's natural quality is area of effect. I will take those. I will take those. Sure. 1 second here. Let me make sure my game is set up, because I am not hearing anything, and that can be a little bit of an issue with not being able to hear any of the game sounds. I don't like a lot of the game sounds, but weird. Huh? That looks good. Sound of okay, there we go. I can hear him now. That's important. That is very important. And so kind of what we're gonna do from here is we're just gonna beeline it through the rest of Act 2. I already have, I was about to say I already have all the ascendancies, but I don't remember if I got the crypt one or not. I may need to go back once I hit this waypoint and just double check, because I don't think I did the crypt. Because I would rather, well, I can double check in Act 3 town. That's what we'll do. We'll just double check in Act 3 town. And if I don't have it, I'll go back real quick. I kind of just rushed this guy kind of up. So we're like 2 levels away from kind of kicking off, essentially. I do need to get Plague Bearer at 24, which is like what I just hit, but that also means I had to get to Act 3 Town and do a mission. I'm a little over leveled right now. And in the case of like solo self-found specifically, I prefer to be a little bit over leveled. Not everybody does. Like there's some people that like really push it and will get like behind by a few levels. And technically that is better experience, but it is also more dangerous. I try not to die. I die, but I try not to die. I mean, I'm not playing hardcore, but I try to treat it kind of like, you know, it's a bad thing. Hey, Joel. It's any good? These boots are almost guaranteed better than what I'm wearing. They don't have as much res, but that 24 movement speed is really, really nice. Okay, I have not gone here, but I might have done on the other character, so we'll just keep pushing. See? As far as auras are concerned, I am running just Clarity for right now. I will probably add in Malevolence, and I will also probably add in what's the other biggie? Plague Bear at 24. Not sure if I can get Malevolence. If I can't, I'll just have to do Library. It's not a big deal. The other thing we want to get to is a 4-link, because that will give us a ability to add in Wither, which, in case you aren't familiar with how Wither works, with Poisonous Concoction, it gives us more of our physical damage inverted to Chaos, which is just really, really nice. Like, we're technically going to be scaling more Poison than Chaos, but that conversion does help, and it's just kind of nice to have. And we can do fun mechanical things with Wither, just like you can do fun mechanical things with Poison. And it looks like the closest Poison mastery to me is gonna be like way over here. So we got like a lot of pathing before we even get our first Poison mastery. And it's probably going to be just it's inflicting faster, because that'll just make it where we can one-shot more things. If you haven't played like a damage over time build before, kind of what you are looking for with like Poisonous Concoction or any other damage over time is to find that break point where your damage will kill stuff, and just kind of knowing where that is so you can, you know, throw a couple of things and then move on and just let your dots take away. It's kind of hard to gauge at first because you don't, especially on Krangeled, because we don't have like the level of scaling we normally would. At this point, like, you're not playing a min-max build, you're playing a Krangeled build, and those things are different, you know, they just are. But Poisonous Concoction's really, really good for Heist, and Heist is a great way of earning a lot of currency. And so kind of the idea here is that we want to do this into basically as soon as we can start running Heist, which is like the early 60s, I think. Like consistently running Heist. But we may even level up part of the way to like 70 or something, just doing Heist and you know, getting a lot of good money and items and such out of the way, and then that'll just make our transition into mapping a little bit easier. If you've ever played Endless Heist, you'll know that like Poisonous Concoction is just really good for Heist. Or if you follow my league starter for Poisonous Concoction into CI Flicker, that works really, really well. So we got Leech and Attack Speed. Attack Speed's really, really good for us because this is technically an attack. even though it is a little bit of a weird attack. And so we'll just kind of go from here and see how we're doing. Hopefully I can figure out what's going on with Twitch. Maybe if I don't try to do the multi thing and just stream to it, and then I can figure out how to kick over to this as well. Like, I would really like to be able to stream to Twitch, Kick, and YouTube all simultaneously. That would be absolutely fantastic. As YouTube is probably my biggest audience, seconded by Twitch, Kick, and then obviously this is like my second stream on Kick. So I'm not at the level here that I am at the other places, but it is good exposure, and that's the whole plan. So if you like build guides and things of that nature, I do post a lot of those on YouTube, and that is in the channel bio. You would like to check it out, where I get a little more in depth over, you know, a specific topic or theme. And we'll probably be doing this for a while today. I'm actually feeling really pumped right now. Worked out at the gym this morning. I haven't worked out in a long time. And so I started working out, I guess it's like 2 weeks ago now. And like my energy levels are like through the roof compared to what they used to be. And I just feel so much better overall. And I think it's been really good for, you know, not only my physical health, but also just my mental health. I've also been eating a little bit better. Made some life decision changes that hopefully work out for us in the long run. That's kind of how I start my day. So I normally hammer out to the gym, and I'm trying to get it where I can get on a consistent rhythm with it, and kind of, you know, go to the gym, take a shower, eat, and then, you know, hopefully start streaming, you know, daily. And we will kind of go from there. Oh, might have found our problem. Might have found our. Aha. I found our problem. Found our problem, and my Twitch wasn't working. Something I'm gonna probably have to stop the stream fix. I don't know, I may can fix it not on stream. We'll see. We'll see. Welcome in. We are doing fun poisonous concoction things through Krangeled. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. We'll just kind of do this for a little bit, doing some bossing. Damage is much better than it was yesterday, so that's a good sign. It never hurts to have a little damage. Still a clear speed build, and like it is what it is on that. But okay, apply. Okay. Hot dog, I think we are live on Twitch too. Fantastic. Shaper is down, boys. Shaper is down. All right, we got Twitch and Kick going. That is wonderful. So now everybody can see me on either platform, which is fantastic. Fantastic. Kick was working for the most part, and then I figured out what was wrong with Twitch and got that fixed. But welcome in, everybody. on both platforms now. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Always happy to answer. I may be answering questions from one chat to the other, but we'll just try it out. We will just try it out and see how it goes. I know I have all my alerts and everything set up on Twitch. I'm not sure if they work on Kick yet. I haven't really had things pop up to test. So we'll just play it by ear and see how it works. So kind of from here, what we're going to be doing is checking which trials we have done real quick. And how to check your trials is you're essentially going to just keep walking this path. And there's going to be like a little altar right here, and it'll tell you how many are done. So we needed 3 done through Act 2. These 3 are all in this act, so we're on the right pace. I don't need to talk to any of these people. I know what to do, but if you don't already know what to do, feel free to talk to those people. They will help you out. You can also just walk straight into here, like if you're trying to race or anything like that, or go faster. Okay, we already found the sewer covering, which is one of 2 things that we need in this area. The next thing that we're gonna need is we are going to need the catacombs. Now, to find the catacombs, there's not really like a guaranteed way to find it. However, there are ways that are slightly better than others. I tend to try to hang to one of the walls and just kind of follow it. When you see a bunch of stairs, you're normally going the right way, and I just kind of follow the path. We may actually get lucky here, I don't know, we'll see. Okay, this is going to a separate area. Now, sometimes it can be off in a little separate area here. Sometimes it is not, but we're gonna keep going. Okay, that's the boss. We do not want to be in the boss enclave. Unless this is an exit. Okay, this is an exit, so that's fine. We're not gonna go up there because we don't need to. There's no reason to battle that boss. Okay, this is a dead end. See if we have a dead end this way. We did. Okay. This was basically just essentially getting us to the boss. Let's see if we can get to. We're probably gonna have to go back up the stairs. It's normally along the stairs. Okay, here's another breakaway path. We'll try that real quick. And it doesn't help. We're getting a little bit of experience while we're doing this. Even if we're not killing everything, we're killing enough to get a little bit of XP going. Little bit of XP going. All right, we'll go north from here and see if we can't get into, okay, that one's, oh, that might be our promised land right there. Let's try this path. This path looks promising. Rip. Okay. Well, that did not go as planned. Let's go down here. Sky. Plugging the wall strat. You can still get lost, obviously. But you're normally, ooh. You've hit most of the area. Let's get this, kill this stuff real quick so we can grab our level fairly safely. There's really no such thing as doing it safely outside of town. Okay, that's big. So now we have power charges. That gives us crit. That gives us cast speed, which doesn't really do a whole lot for us. But it does give us crit, which this is still technically an attack, so that's nice. Now the crit will not apply to our poison. It will only apply to our initial hit. It can inadvertently scale your poison because you can get a bigger hit initially, which then in turn can, you know, obviously give you more poison, but it will not scale the poison itself, which will be our main source of damage for this. Let's see if we can get... Yeah, there we go, there we go, there we go. Oh, it was right there. I just missed it. That happens, that happens. Alright, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Yeah, any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask, and I will get to them as soon as possible. Or at least attempt to. At least attempt to. Sometimes I get a little tunnely. There is a trial in here, which is what this little green icon indicates. So we're gonna go do that real quick. And that should help out a little bit. All right. So kind of what to expect here is we're gonna do trials, obviously. We're gonna do ascendancy as soon as we can because power is good. We will likely go for I don't know. I'm torn. We'll see how I feel about the damage by the time I hit that. If the damage feels really good, I'll go for survivability. If the survivability isn't very good, then we'll go for damage. And we'll just kind of play it by ear. I have kind of like a blueprint in my head of what we're going to be doing, but not a total. No thank you. No thank you. I am good. Appreciate the offer though. Not a bot guy. That's the other thing I like more about Kick than Twitch is there's less like spammy bot stuff. Alright. Proj level, that's good. Get that extra damage. I got a little close there. Got a little close. Having the life flask refills, very, very nice. We probably could go down to like 1 mana already. Like eventually we won't need mana, hopefully at all. Like we just won't need it. But it is something that is kind of important to have. All right, let's see what we got here. Alchemist Mark is pretty good for us, but so is Despair. I think Despair is slightly better. Sell items real quick. Yeah, we can just sell all that. All right, so let's go down to 1 mana flask and let's go to 3 life flasks and see how that goes. I need to level up. Attack speed, that's actually not horrible. Let's aug that, see what we get. Fire damage over time. Rip. We really need 2 stats on a jewel socket to justify it at this point. What do we have here? We have LMP and Void Manip. I'm wondering if we just don't stack more projectiles right now. That might be the better answer, is just to stack projectiles at the moment, and then we can get into the others later and get better that way. Let's go ahead and get a different movement skill as well. We can go into Frostblink. Frostblink gives us a way to curse later on, which is really handy if it's not too much mana. Or we can also do Flame Dash. It is too much int for us, which is unfortunate. Could have got that earlier. Actually, let's see if we just happen to have one. We very well might. No, not. It's not. And can we get a wither? Body swap, lightning, and crit. None of those are exceptionally good for us. Rip. Oh well. That was a waste. We'll just have to do a visit to Ye Old Library here in a little bit and get it that way. See what we got here, if we have anything massively useful. Plague Bear is huge. I will do that and just lose out on a movement skill for the time being. Yeah, I think that's probably our best case scenario. And just going that way, because if we go that way, we're pretty much set for damage. So you can tell Plague Bear is active when this icon is appearing. Kind of what we are wanting to gain from that is we are wanting to get damage, and then we can activate it like an aura, like you do with RF, and just give us, you know, quite a bit more. It was quite a bit more concentrated death on instant access. I don't know what I can't remember what the thresholds are. When it stops ticking up is kind of when I use it typically. And it's not going to tick really fast at this point in time, but it will get there pretty quickly as we start getting things like poison added into the chain. It starts going pretty darn fast, and we can do quite a bit of damage pretty quickly. Which is fantastic. Our damage is actually looking better now that we're doing just all the projectiles. Getting some of that nice juicy overlap with poison. Like it. And it makes our clear speed a little bit better, which is also just chef's kiss. I also think going to 3 life flask was the right call. Seems to be much more sustainable. and we're being put bigger damage down on those harder targets, which is wonderful. I also need to remember to cast Despair. Should probably find that to space, but that'll get me in a bad habit. All right, that's 2. Is that all 3? That is all 3. Fantastic. We just got to get the exit now. Go ahead and level up Clarity for now. Okay, it looks like 4,000 is our end. That's the icon. So the next thing that we see that's kind of tanky, we're just gonna pop Plague Bearer on, and then you can see kind of the devastation that is Plague Bearer. It's pretty crazy. Alright, so here's Plague Bearer and what it does. Just massively ramps up our damage. When we don't need it anymore, we just turn it back off when the thing that we're trying to kill dies, and then we can, you know, start gaining it back again. That's kind of the Plague Bearer cycle. All right, let's go ahead and pop this guy over, get this Flask Mastery. And what we want from this one is remove a random non-elemental ailment when you use a Life Flask. So that takes care of anything that isn't bleed, burn, chill, freeze, shock, etc. So anything that isn't one of those, anytime we use a Life Flask, which is constantly basically, it will go ahead and remove one of those effects. So it's a really good way to deal with bleeding and to deal with stun. Like, there's just a whole bunch of non-elemental ailments that you don't want. And since we don't have easy access to Corrupted Blood, at least at this point, that's just kind of the next best option. It's too bad that is not an evasion base. If that was an evasion base, that would have been fantastic. Or even like an evasion energy shield, because we can easily add in blue gems as well. Like efficacy would be really good with this. Or unbound ailments. Unbound ailments will be better once we're scaling poison more. But it's not horrible. And yay, we got our next trial. This is the mazes. Sadly, we do not have a movement skill for this, but that's all right. And we get a lovely crafting recipe, which we will not be using, but it is good if you're playing an attack build. All right, so now we have 1 trial left. Normally, hey, what's going on, man? It's going pretty good. How are you doing? Just, enjoying some Poisonous Concoction Krangeled solo self-found madness. How's your day going? Yeah. Doing a little bit of, going very experimental with it. But I saw, right on, that's awesome. Congrats on waking up. A good day when you wake up. The very definition of it. And so, yeah, we're just gonna be kind of going through this and having fun and seeing what madness we can get up to with Poisonous Concoction and Krangling. So far, so good. So far, so good. No complaints. Ooh, if only that had grades. Ooh. That's big. Big. I can recolor that. Orlink's big time. So this is my 3rd reroll. Since beta? So I have probably like 20,000 plus hours of the game. So for a little bit. I typically do like new league content videos and stuff like that on YouTube. And you can't really do any of that with Krangeled because, well, it's Krangeled. So I decided kind of the idea is to go ahead and try going for just streaming it instead and kind of seeing how that works. Kick's new, but it seems interesting, so I figured, you know, we'll give Kick a try and kind of see how it goes. I prefer it to Twitch's platform just in general. It seems to be less issues that I have compared to Twitch. So I'm all for it. And they aren't as like crazy strict, which is nice. Like you get to be a little more yourself. Kill. All right. So we're gonna come down through here. Okay. So this is the one I need to get to. That's where we get our endurance charges. All right. We'll get the waypoint. Never hurts to have that waypoint. And so now kind of what we will do is we got like 3 more skill points. We got a 30 strength node, which is good, because Lord knows I'll need strength. And then we will get aggressive bastion, and then we'll have power and endurance charges. Yes, the blast from the past one I'm really looking forward to as well. Krangled is like good for passing some time and experimenting, because you can do like some really broken things in Krangled that just don't exist in the base game. And I like destroying their servers, you know, so like I'm open to it. And but yeah, Krangeled's one that I definitely am going to take much more casually. Like, I don't think it's good to try hard on Krangeled, because you're just gonna get frustrated. But I do think it's really fun to play casually. You know, just kind of ease into it and just, you know, kind of take it easy and breezy with Krangeled, because no need to get frustrated. All right, let's go back to town. Let's turn in some stuff, sell some stuff. Hopefully I have enough chromes to get this chest piece right. Hey, that worked out. I will take it. Actually, let's go ahead and quality this sucker up. And screw it, we'll alk it. We'll go big. Go big, we'll alk it. Let's do we want vicious or void? Probably vicious at this point. Void is slightly better once we're scaling the poisons. Let's go ahead and get in the new life flask. And do I have enough? Yeah, well, I mean, that's basically my strat too. You know, I can just kind of casually get to 50, and then if I'm having a really good time, I'll keep going. But yeah, that's the basic idea that I'm going for as well, is I want the rewards, or at least the chance at rewards. And you know, if we can get there, great. If we don't get there, that's all right too. You know, as long as you have a good time while you're doing it. But yeah, the blast from the past one, I will probably go much heavier into. I would think, just because the way it works naturally is a little more appealing. So I have 2, but I'm about to get that and another point. I think we're 29. No, we're 28. So 2 levels, and I'll get that. Good enough. Yep. Okay, we got everything we need to get. So let's go ahead and go to. I did not get the battlefronts. Right on. Right on, right on. Yeah, blast from the, like, the one that I really would love to see before the launch of PoE 2 is I would really like them to, like, revisit Legacy League. I don't know if you played Legacy League. But that one was just so much fun. That's probably the single most fun league I've ever played in this game. And that was from years and years and years ago at this point. And like, they could improve on it a little bit, sure, but something along those lines would be a stellar way to get us ready for round 2. Oh, I went back to the waypoint. So that was the one where you had the 3 stones, the league stones that you put them in, and it gave you access to that individual league mechanic. And they did every league in the game. So you could play whatever you want. I chanced like 7 headhunters that league. Because I would just activate a Nemesis one and have like 1,000,000. Yeah. I had like 1,000,000 leather belts, and I just go to like Act 3 and just chance them at the City of Sarn and drop them if they didn't, you know, turn unique into Headhunter. And I want to say, like, I probably went through like 60, 70 pages, like quad tap pages full of leather belts doing that, and it was so much fun. I had a blast doing it. I had every character had their own headhunter that league. It was fun. Because it altered the drop chance, right? So you could manipulate it by taking leagues out. So I was like rolling on like one of 3 possibilities. I mean, obviously it's still a tier 0, but when you have enough volume of chance orbs and enough volume of leather belts, you can crank them out. Because it works the same way it did in Nemesis League, where you can just, you know, chance it and get it. So I would really like that again for personal reasons, because there's a couple of pieces of gear that I would like to have, you know, a bunch of copies of. And that's a really good way of getting it. Nice. I've done the 100 a few times. And I've just found that like 95 to 99 to 100 is just kind of miserable. So I normally stop before then. Because you end up doing like super, right on. Yeah, you gotta get, if you're 99, you gotta push through. When I did it for the first time is when we were doing, it was when the breach stones just got elevated. I don't even remember what league that was. And we were just Yeah. 5-way is another really good way of doing it. 5-way was post that, I'm pretty sure. But we were just running like the biggest Cholula breach there was and going ham on it. And I was on a curse bot back then, back when curse bots worked correctly and were really, really good. And but yeah, that was fun. Yeah. Yeah, just breaching it up and, you know, send it like 20k energy shield, you know, the good old days. Yeah, that was my first one, and then the second one, I believe, was 5 ways. But I just like that content now, like the super repetitive all the time content like that is like a little less appealing than it used to be to me. Like I like more varied experiences now. But I also think I'm gonna play like SSF for the full league next league too. Just because I found that SSF is like the way to kind of challenge myself a little bit. Because it's really easy to like go on and like trade for exactly the pieces of gear you need. Yeah. I prefer mapping over just about anything. Like heist is enough varied that I can do it for a while. Like I say repetitive, like I could run the same map a billion times in a row and be perfectly fine with it because it's just enough variation that my brain isn't saying like this is the exact same thing the whole time. But yeah, I'm more of a mapper, and like I'll do the other stuff, but I like going through maps and going zoom. Which is why I'm playing Poisonous Concoction on Krangeled. So I want to go zoom, and I know that this is a way to get there. But I probably will be spending quite a bit of time in Heist. Just to get like good gear and currency and everything built up. Like I don't mind the tediousness if I have a goal to get out of the tediousness with. It's when I don't have like a reasonable goal to shoot for where it's like, oh, hey, like I can't get out of this. What? Oh, did I not? I didn't do the other part. I did not do the base part. Rip. Rip. Wrong one. Oh, tech. We're having a good conversation. I just like completely spaced to get the other piece. Oh well, it happens. But like this will be like I've done SSF for events and things, but I've never really done it as a full like lead playthrough. Right on. Like I've done like really try hard sweaty stuff. Specifically like back when I was doing like curse bot stuff and aura bot stuff and mana guardian stuff. Where we were earning like mirrors daily. And I don't mind that. But we had like a dedicated trader that we just gave an even cut to, so we could just keep rolling, is what we ended up doing. But there was like 8 of us doing that. Like you need, like it's the bigger the team, the better. Yeah. Like, if group SSF was just a option instead of it being either SSF or trade, I would always just play group SSF. Always. Because I find it interesting and challenging. I normally play like just plain Jane softcore trade. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's the hardest part is getting like the group together. And not only getting the group together, but then also like getting them to stick around. Because like if you go really hard at League Start, if you can dedicate like 2 weeks to going really hard, you can basically play anything you want to all league long, if you have a good group. And like we've flipped through several of those kind of groups over the years. Yeah, exactly. Because it's one of those like I'm always down for botting, and I have another buddy that's always down for botting, even though his time is a little bit more limited now than it used to be. Because I've always just found like the bot mechanics and playing the game not at all how it's intended to be played a lot of fun. And yeah, same. Like on any MMO, you're gonna find me on a healer or a tank, on any of them. Just because I have the most fun doing that. And then I normally have to end up making a DPS just to show people that I can play. Yeah. What's always interesting, they always try to make it like want twice the requirement of a support that they do for a DPS, and it's like, why? Y'all are crazy? You can either play... Yeah, exactly. One, like, I have a buddy that likes to tank, so it's like, dude, we can do anything. Just the two of us, like, we can run any dungeon, we, you know, like, you can always get into it. I'm hoping we get like the ooh. Nice. I will absolutely take the will absolutely take that. All right, let's get this rolling. Okay, where are we at? Oh, next one. Okay, we're almost there. Just build some stuff real quick. I want to aggressive Bastion so bad. Well, I think the thing with Path of Exile is that there was, like, last year it was so bad, and this year it's been so good. Like they listened to the fans, and like the game got really good again, to where like the core game is worth playing. And that's always when you know Path of Exile is like in a really good state, is when the core game, without any leagues, without anything else added in, is enjoyable. And it's there again. And it hadn't been there for a few years, like since they did the huge nerds. But the last several leagues have also been really good, which is nice. I have played both of those. I have not put in a lot of time into SWTOR. I haven't put a lot of time into actually either of them. Final Fantasy XIV, it was like the... I don't know if it's just the aesthetic. Like, I know it's a good game. I don't know if it's the aesthetic or just like how it operates, but it just didn't click with me. SWTOR was interesting, but I never found people to play with, and I was just like, yeah, like, that's one that you need people to play with. I have, recently I tried Elder Scrolls Online, and that was fun. And that kept me entertained for a little while. But it's like what I really miss is like vanilla WoW. That's what I really miss. And like people don't play games the way they used to. So it just doesn't have the same feeling as it used to. Like, people are way more try-hardy than they used to be. Like, for an MMO, I want something that's like semi-casual. Nice. Yeah, I think I got... For Final Fantasy, I want to say I got through like 10, 12 levels, something like that, and I was just like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about the game. It's just something that's not appealing. And I can't even describe it. But like, I'm the same way with like Diablo. Like Diablo 4, no interest. And like, I love these kind of games. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, there's just something about... I can't even put a finger on it. There's just something about like the aesthetic or the mechanics. There's something that is just not appealing. And like I said, like, I know it's a good game. Just, I don't even know what it is. Because like Final Fantasy XIV is probably the best MMO there is right now. And I understand that, you know, but it's like, I just couldn't get like hard into it. I mean, that's the exact same thing they said about Diablo 3. It is kind of like, I'm just kind of done with Diablo, I think. Like, I feel like Path of Exile is like a better spiritual successor to Diablo 2 than anything Diablo will ever put out. And so, like, because I want a game that will keep me entertained, and Path of Exile can do that. There's just so much content, and anything that I go to, like, I'll eventually hit the in-game grind and just be like, okay, I'm bored with this. And we'll see, like, I'm hoping the Microsoft merger is actually really good for Blizzard, because I think that they will be putting more of an emphasis on... Yeah, exactly. And Diablo 4 is less arcadey. But like, when we were playing it and they cut us off so early, I was like, oh, they don't have content. Because I played the beta of Diablo 4 and it was okay. But I was just like, it's just really simple. And like, I want to be, like, my brain to be challenged a little bit when I'm playing, and Diablo 4 just seems like it's never gonna be that. Where Path of Exile is always that. And, I don't think. And so, like, I don't know. Like, I get picky about, like, these type of games, especially, like dungeon crawlers and ARPGs. Like, you have to have good content. Exactly. Well, it's is the grind enjoyable, and is there enough variation to keep me entertained? Because that's what I care about. Like, anybody can get through any level experience, and yeah, their leveling experience is probably 20 times better than Path of Exile's leveling experience at this point, just because it's newer and it's a little slower pace. But like, I was breaking the game like in beta, and you know, got a lot of nerfs. Because I just went like full blood necro, and apparently they didn't think about like the way the abilities stacked, because I was just an immortal god. And it's like, well, if I can break the game like that early, it's like, yeah, I think this is too simple for me. Like, give me something harder. Well, and that's the thing. Like, I don't want to do the same content just slightly harder over and over and over again. Like, maps are at least varied, and I get dungeons are varied too, but there's more things than just mapping. And like, maybe in like 2 or 3 years, I'll want to play Diablo 4 when they've had time to actually make content for it. But like, you have to have content nowadays, and people just eat through content faster than ever, and at the same time people are spending more money trying to make things more complex that they don't need to do. Like, the best leagues ever have always been simple leagues in Path of Exile, in my opinion. Right? Like, one simple mechanic has always been the best in most played leagues. You know, like, I still think, like, from a design standpoint, freaking like the first like 3 or 4 leagues are still like hold up the best out of all of them. Like, Invasion was a phenomenal league mechanic. Anarchy was a really good league mechanic. Onslaught was a really good league mechanic. Nemesis was a really good league mechanic. Like, it doesn't have to be complex. It just has to be enough of a variety to get you going. And that's what I think a lot of companies don't understand, is that you don't have to make the most beautiful content in the world. Yeah, Ambush was great. Ambush was great. I loved Ambush. Back when Flicker Strike was Flicker Strike, man. Give me that Flicker Strike any day of the week. Because that Flicker Strike was insane. I was doing, yeah, exactly. Like, it's simple, but it's effective, and it did a really good job at that. And it's something that can be expanded on later, and that's what, like, I wish, like, I could, like, go to, like, a Diablo 4, like, meeting with, like, you know, the design people, and be like, okay, we're gonna make 6 very simple things that are gonna use procedural generation that we can add into the world. And you're gonna go to one of these areas that's gonna add in one of these 6 things, and what do you know? And we're gonna scale them based on your level. And they have unique rewards that are only available to them. And they'll probably take, you know, a couple of days a piece to code. And we're gonna pump this content out and give people variety. And that's all it takes. And like, I think people miss the mark at like how successful Path of Exile has been by just doing sometimes something simple and sometimes something very, very complex. But doing it like routinely several times a year really keeps the game alive. And I feel like, you know, and they've gone worse about like the monetization stuff recently, but it's still not like pay to win. by any stretch of the imagination. And I get it, like they gotta make their money for it being a free-to-play. But it's like, when Diablo can't compete with free-to-play, there's a problem. You know, like, to me anyway, like, it's like, yeah, well, give it a few years. Yeah, like, if you would just listen to players, and listen to a variety of players, like, don't, like, listen to some casuals. Yeah. Oh, dude, if modern companies could admit their faults, bro. Well, it's like RoboCop. Like, I was really looking forward to RoboCop. Pre-ordered it and everything. Because I grew up in that era, and, like, I loved those movies as a kid. And the demo was, like, flawless. The demo was so good. And then I get the real version of the game, and it's, like, a stuttering mess, and it's buggy, and it has all kinds of problems. And so it's like, well, I don't know this company as well. Like, they don't have a track record with me. So, I mean, I just refunded it because it's one of those that, like, I like, y'all burnt me where I don't believe you when you say you're gonna fix something. Like, I just don't believe developers anymore if they say they're gonna fix something at all. And it's sad, but they you know, we have a pretty long track record of people not doing what they said they were gonna do. And there's a few developers that do a really good job. You know, CD Projekt Red, like, it took them a while, but man, they made Cyberpunk amazing. Exactly. Exactly. Well, and it's one of those, like, I want Diablo 4 to be good because I think it's good for Path of Exile, even though Diablo 4 isn't my cup of tea. Right? But, like, I do want them to succeed. Like, you know, and I want Wolcen to succeed, and I want, like, all the games in this genre to succeed because I think that ultimately makes Path of Exile better. You know, competition is a really good way of bringing out the best in everybody. And I know there's some people that don't like competition, and, you know, it's whatever. But, like, I feel like Blizzard has gotten a really big pass considering they haven't made good content in years. Like, it's been years and years and years since Blizzard made truly good content. And everybody just kind of gives them a pass, and I'm just over it. I'm hoping the merger helps with that, and Microsoft's like, no, we're not gonna let you put out crap content. Like, focus on what the community wants. Like, if WoW ever does Classic Plus right, oh man, I will live in Classic Plus forever and be happy about it. Cause, like, yeah, exactly. Like, if you just, okay, they did, like, the D2 remaster, right? Why not put seasons into D2 instead of making Diablo 4? Do you think that would not be more successful? Because I guarantee it would have. Right? Like, people like that game for a reason. Because it is really good, and it was way more complex. But it wasn't so complex. Like, it's still not like Path of Exile levels of complexity. But it has enough complexity that, you know, it's good. And, like, I would buy an expansion to Diablo 2 that released now. You know what I mean? Like, as long as it, like, they did a good job with it. And I won't buy Diablo 4 for a while. But Diablo 2 had content. And I think that that's the thing that they're missing. Like, I think a lot of studios would really greatly benefit for going to their back catalog of, like, their big hits and you know, modernizing them, but making new content as well. I think that would be a recipe. Like, I mean, if you look at old school RuneScape, like old school RuneScape just listens to the feedback from the community and is made, like, that game has never, like, it's bigger now than it was in its heyday. Because they listen to the feedback from the community. We were talking yesterday about like retro games and like the Xbox merger and PlayStation and all that. And I was like, I just think it's crazy that developers don't realize if they would just make all their old games available to PC users for like cheap, like, you know, $1 or $2 a game, and it was legal. I think you'd be amazed at how many people would play and buy old games. Because I was reading there's like 83% of games that have ever been made are playable now. Or unplayable now. Like, there's no way to play it outside of owning a physical copy or owning the original hardware. And that just blows my mind that we've lost so much stuff in the transition of moving away from physical media and going towards digital media, that so much stuff just is unplayable. And it's like, man, like the other, like, I mean, even with Path of Exile, like, I wish you could go back and play like original Path of Exile still. You know, or play your favorite league or whatever. Like, that would be a really cool feature. You know, if you aren't feeling this currently, go back and play, you know, one of the old leagues, you know, that you did really enjoy. Yeah, well, it's not that they're doing only digital. I just wish that they understood, like, how, like, okay, for instance, I'm gonna use a bad Nintendo game because I know a lot of them. But like Bad Dudes on Nintendo, not a great game. But it was okay, and it was fun. But if you're telling me I can play Bad Dudes on Nintendo for like $2 and just own the game outright, and so can anybody else, right? Like, I feel like they would sell a lot of games that way. You know, especially if they did like either developer bundles outside of maybe like LJN. I think they would have a hard time because they did not make good games. But like old Nintendo games, like if you did a developer bundle and the games were priced at like $1 or $2 a game, I think they would be surprised how many people would buy them. And it's crazy to me that so much stuff just is gone. And it's not like emulators are not readily available. But it's like with the classic console stuff, like why don't they you know, make it where you can add a hard drive in and then have every game in the library at different prices or whatever they have to do to make it work financially. But like, even that would be something. But also like console exclusivity and stuff is just really anti-consumer, and I think a lot of people are getting tired of it, even though like Microsoft's going hard on it right now. But I think the way Microsoft's doing it is kind of for the better, because at least they're including PC compared to Sony and Nintendo, which is like you have to buy this console. It's like, man, I would love to have like a Switch emulator that I could download, or a PlayStation 5 emulator that I could download, and I'd probably buy some games, you know, if they make that stuff readily available, because it's not like my computer can't run it. And it'd just be crazy. It'd be crazy what you could do with just like that little bit of extra like focus. And like you can sell the software pack for, you know, some money, you know, like $100 or, you know, whatever, to give you that access. And then if you do, you know, like, hey, you can, you know, buy games from the PlayStation Store. Obviously, you can't run the physical media, but you could play, you know, you could digitally download whatever you wanted. Like, I don't understand why people don't do that kind of stuff. I get you sell less consoles, but there's a lot of people that aren't going to buy your console to play one game. It's like I would play the remake of Super Mario RPG if there's an easy way to access it without buying a Switch. 100%. I love that game. And I've heard nothing but rave reviews about people who have actually been playing it. And, well, like, digital only I think is fine. It's losing the, it's the lack of carryover generation from generation, I think it's the actual problem. But I mean, I get that there's also like contracts and stuff that are, you know, 20, 30 years old that people would have to revisit, or longer, you know, 40, 50 years old. We're going back to like Atari days. And some of those companies don't exist, and I don't know who owns the rights to their titles. And I mean, I get it's a mess, but it would be really nice if they could figure out a way of splitting that where, because it doesn't cost them anything to re-put out basically like a legalized ROM. It's nothing. The only thing they may have to do is, you know, have a different coded emulator, which that should still be very, very cheap to make. It's kind of sad. Yeah, no, that is absolutely a problem. Well, that's like the same thing with this game in like past leagues or whatever. That we don't have like a vault where you can just play whatever you want to. Because like if I could go back and play Ambush like the way Ambush was originally coded, like I would rather do that than Krangeled. And that would be something that I would do consistently, like just play old leagues. That were really good and that like I really enjoyed. Well, archiving it specifically with video games is really, really weird because like there's things that protect movies and TV shows where they're preserved in history, so you can go back and watch them and re-experiencing them. And nothing like that has really ever been done for video games. And video games are arguably like the biggest entertainment medium now in like the world. And so it's just a shame that like it's so restrictive and we don't have those archive friendly and consumer friendly deals with video games like we do with television or movies. Because, like, I mean, any smart TV should be able to emulate at least through the 16-bit consoles, if not the 32-bit consoles. Like, why can't you, like, turn on your TV and play, like, Mario or whatever? Like, it's just kind of crazy to me. All right, we got that. Let's turn this over. But I feel like I feel like eventually like the dam has to break, and I'm looking forward to when that happens, because I think it'll be really good for everybody when that does finally happen. But I get it might not be a right now thing. I guess fortify out of the... All right, so we need 2 gems. We need a flame dash for sure. We need all right, flame dash. Oh, see how this works. Yeah, I'm hoping eventually we figure it out and... Oh yeah, much better damage. Much better damage. Mikey likes it. That's really good. It's exceptional. Fantastic. Okay, we're on the right track. Definitely on the right track. So now... Like, I think digital only is fine as long as you can archive it. Right. Like, they don't have to host the server anymore, but you can have an archived copy of the game. That's the good. Is just being able to archive. If there was a mandate that made it where, like, after 4 or 5 years you had to have an archive version, world would be a much better place. Or maybe even that's too soon. Maybe like 10 years. I could see a lot of companies being really mad at that though. Because some games go in well into 10 years. Like, Path of Exile is a good example of that. But we're at year 11 now, I think? It's crazy. I think I've been playing this game for 11 years. Yeah, okay, so 10. Yeah. And in that 10 years, like, the game's changed so much. Probably peak Pewee for me. There's like a handful of leagues. Ambush is definitely one of them. I loved Ambush. That was so much fun. Ambush is up there. Legacy obviously is up there. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the other, like, Reach was really good. The one after, what was it, Ritual was really good. Like, there's several leagues I wish you could go back and play now, like the way they were. Be so fun. Like before they destroyed Harvest completely. Oh, good times. Had such good gear that league. Oh, hey Einhard. Yeah, you can help me kill things. I will let you. I will. Life regen, that's no fun. And like, I have like positives with both of those, right? Like, I kind of like the 10x, and I kind of... Yeah, Parandus was really good. Prophecy was just so tedious. Of having to, like, constantly mess with the coins. Like, if they could have found a way to make it less tedious, I think Prophecy was fine. Like, actually, the way that they kind of redid it, for this league is pretty good. Like, I've enjoyed that, like the auto battler thing. Speaking of which, I should do a little bit of that, get some gear. Yeah, like I had several friends that really didn't mind the tediousness of it. And then, like, I was in the camp of, like, it just drove me crazy. And I, like, forget about it 90% of the time. Because, like, they just trigger and trigger and trigger. Yeah, absolutely. Now, they had, like, if they had a way where it just automatically refreshed, I'd be down for it. Like, give me the less things I have to click on all the time, the better. Oof. Come on. Okay, I do not have nearly enough life at this point. And no endurance charges. Rip. But there are things that I miss about Parandus. I just don't miss the silver corn port. Exactly. No. I 100% love those. Like, those are things I liked. I just didn't like the constant management of it. You know, if it was like more RNG, you know, like basically at the same rates without me having to manage it constantly, I would have loved it. Like, what I would really like them to do is not make any new currency items. Like, hot take, but yeah. Like, I would really like to see, like, no new currencies. And just make it where if you need to do a currency thing, it's just auto-stored. But man, that would make my life. The game that doesn't know how to not introduce a new currency every league. No new currency. That's my take. I honestly like the idea of gold in Path of Exile 2. I would much rather have like a singular currency than a plethora of them. Actually really excited in general for Path of Exile 2. Why? Because then they can implement things like auto pickup, where I don't have to pick up 1.5 billion currencies. So like the whole thing with currencies in this game and like the way it works mechanically, it's not that I have a huge problem with it. It's the way that itemization is done in this game is like really, really dated. And so it does. I am much less concerned about the economy and much more concerned about like me getting carpal tunnel from clicking up 1 billion things on the ground. Right? Like that's my take on it. Like I think items are fine to have weight to. Like the concept of weight, like it needs to go in your limited inventory space, right? That concept of weight, not like physical weight. So like I think items are really good to have weight to them. And I'm okay with something in your inventory taking up weight that gives you a buff. I think the idea that currency has weight to it and isn't an auto pickup is dumb. Because it's just like, it's very counterintuitive. Oh yeah, no, 100%. 100% you can. It's the, I guess it's the advantageous of not having to do it at all. Because PoE 2 is gonna have it where you basically auto pick up all the gold, right? You just like walk over, buy it. And so I really like that concept, and you're just gonna have way less actual currency that drops, and the currencies are more meaningful when they drop. And I'm actually just a very big fan of that change in general. Like I feel like Path of Exile 2 is probably gonna be much better on itemization. But I'm also a fan of like smart loot and like cutting it down in half. I don't think it will be. I actually think Path of Exile 2 looks more like old PoE than new PoE. And what I mean by that is that it's like a slower, more methodical game. I don't think it's going to be casual friendly at all. Like, I think it will be the exact opposite of it. From what I've seen, anyway. You know, nobody can be sure until it's out, but if I had to guess, I think it's going to be less casual friendly than baseline PoE and much more difficult, which I'm fine with. Just like I don't mind like the whole idea behind like the ruthless and everything. I just don't like the way that they did ruthless, if that makes sense. The actual combat, like the things that actually matter. Like it looks like they're focusing way more on how the game is played and less on the micromanagement. At least that was my takeaway. And I'm completely fine with that. Like, I would rather spend more time playing the game than micromanaging the game. Because, like, if everything was like, oh, that's nice. Feed. Yeah, like, so more mechanics, more one-shots, but like actually telegraphed one-shots. Like that kind of stuff, like I'm perfectly okay with all that kind of stuff. And so I think it'll be a much more challenging experience. I also think they're going to radically reduce the number of things on the screen, which makes combat more visceral anyways. Right, so I think they're gonna just slow it down a bit. And I mean, eventually it will speed up, but I think for a while it will be kind of slow. Because original Path of Exile was really slow at the beginning too. And I'm kind of okay with either of those. Like the combat itself from D4, and the telegraphing from Wilson with the complexity of PoE is would be my favorite game ever. Because I think Diablo 4 has good combat. I just don't like the content. I think those things are still going to be very, very important. I think crafting actually becomes more high level and more game knowledge when there's less options to be able to craft. Right, not that it gets worse. Because it's like, okay, so for instance, you're not going to be able to reroll a skill gem, which means that you may drop the perfect skill gem for you, but it's only a 4 link, and you need to get it a 6 link, because it's based on that. And so I don't know, it'll be interesting. Like, I enjoy crafting to a degree, but I think anything that makes it where the main way you get better gear is by playing the game and less by trading or sitting in an inventory screen, I think that makes for a better game. If that makes sense. Like where the majority of the best stuff you can pick up is off the ground from mobs. Like I would prefer that. Not to say you can't still do crafting stuff, and maybe you need to craft certain things to make them even better, like or an upgrade. Like I like those kind of systems. Like I really like the way the new Chaos Orb works. It seems very, very interesting. But we'll just have to kind of see as it gets closer and we get more details. But that was kind of the gist of what I was getting. And I think the thing that is really, really daunting for most people is they just open up the skill tree and see like a billion things on the skill tree. Yeah. And so I don't think that mechanic is going to go away in PoE 2. I just think it will be less of a focus unless you want it to be, if that makes sense. Because you're going to drop like way less currencies, which means crafters are going to trade items for more currency so they can keep crafting. Right, I don't think the economy changes completely that way. I just think it will be more of a you can get a reasonable upgrade off the ground. I don't know about basic. But I could see it. I mean, again, I don't know if they're going to introduce leagues into PoE 2. I don't know exactly what they're going to do. I mean, we'll see. I mean, if it's like Diablo 4, I'm going to play normal PoE. Right? But if they make it where it's like the combat's really good in PoE 2 and the crafting's really good in PoE 1. Like, I'm cool with that. And especially they stagger leagues like it's sounding like they're wanting to do. Definitely okay with that. But we'll know really quickly after it comes out if it's a hit or not. That's the other thing that's nice about the variation. But I also like the fact that they're able to do like new things with models and stuff, so it like looks more like a modern day game. Because like Path of Exile has great artwork. Like the artwork in this game is insane. But you can tell it's an older base game, you know, from where it's what the competition is doing. And so it'd be nice to see, like, I don't know, a little more ramp up there. But yeah, if they don't do like leagues, and they don't integrate that kind of stuff, I absolutely would see how it would be like really boring. Because like PoE 1 has like, you know, 10 years of leagues, which is a lot of extra content added into the base game. But I think they're gonna have to implement some of that into core. And even if it's like different stuff than what they implement in PoE 1, as long as there's some of the league stuff and there's content, I think it'll be... Because I can't see Chris Wilson, the guy that wants, like, his dream is like Diablo 2 hardcore, but now making a game that's like more basic is the second iteration than the first iteration, if that makes sense. Like, Chris just doesn't seem like he would go for that. Because like if you look at Ruthless, like Ruthless is a slog. And like, to me, it is unfun just because of like all the limitations. But that's like Chris Wilson's bread and butter, dude. Like, that's like his ideal game. And so I could see PoE 2 being more like Ruthless and less like Path of Exile 1. And I'm okay if it's just like a toned down version of Ruthless where it's not so limiting. Like, I would be pretty okay with that. Where do we want to go? Chaos damage over time. Snowforge doesn't really do anything for us. We're gonna keep going until we hit over there. And so I don't know. I don't see them going. Now this is just guesses on my part, obviously, but I don't see them going backwards from what's working and what does well. I see them expanding on what works and what does well. Where I think they will go backwards is the overall speed of the game. Because I think that they have identified the speed is the actual issue and not like the gameplay loop or anything like that. Yeah, well, I could see it going kind of either way. I don't think they'll ever remove crafting, and I don't think that crafting won't ever play a huge role in the economy, just because it's always played a huge role. And Chris Wilson actually like goes into like economic theory and stuff when he's talking about Path of Exile. Like, he cares about the economy and the health of the economy, like, way more than, like, I do. Right, like, I'm the person that I would just rather have easy access to fairly good gear where I enjoy myself than having to worry about min-max crafting. And I still do crafting, but I would rather it be less of a time sink than it currently is. And I don't think Chris Wilson will let the game release if it doesn't have a healthy economy and crafting isn't part of it. I just don't see that happening, like, in any stretch of the imagination. Because for that to happen, for like crafting to not be existence, it's not even Path of Exile anymore. Right, Path of Exile is very heavy into crafting and things of that nature. I just think it's going to be a different form of crafting, and I think some of the knowledge will carry over, but not all of it, is what I would expect. Right on. Right on, right on, right on. So we'll see, we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Lab time, lab time. How are we feeling on damage? See. Well, how are you feeling on damage versus how are you feeling on survivability? I think damage is in a better place than survivability. Okay. All right, let's see here. Oh, getting out of control. Getting out of control. All right, screw it. Screw it. Screw it. Screw it. Come on, come on, come on. Oh. Well, that did not go as well as I was hoping. You just leave it with all the projectiles. even for Zaro. Might be the best bet. Just might be. Alright. Let's see. Maybe over here, maybe over here. Great. Absolutely. Let's go. Welcome in. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Just doing our first lab to see if we can make this poisonous concoction go crazy or not. Just trying things out. Let's see how it goes. I'm hoping we can have a pretty good time once we get our first lab. Hopefully we get... I think there's a couple of different options that are pretty good for first lab for us. We'll have to take a second. I know I want to go Pathfinder, I just don't know if I want to go more damage or more survivability first. This is kind of a good gauge. Survivability seems fine so far, but this guy also likes to one-shot people. And my health pool is a little low, so I may just go full survivability. We'll see. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Might take me a second to get to him because of, Azaro. But I will absolutely get to you. It seems to be going smoother than the first run at least. So I think the idea of keeping all the projectiles was the right call. Playing the management game and the damage dealing game is always fun on this. Hey! Got everybody kneeling, that's good. Okay. So, 2 more rooms and we should be done with lab. That's kind of nice. Have to remember to use spare. I do not like these guys. They tend to one-shot if you don't take care of them. So we'll just get that out of the way so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, you got me. My fire res isn't that good yet. So let's see here. Okay, that's going well. That's going well. And we're out. Sweet. Nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. I will take it. Take it. Hope y'all are all having a wonderful day. Hopefully we can get through this without dying, and I'll be a very happy camper. All right. Hey, we're on the right track. You're on the right track. Now this one will probably have the 3 splits at the end. We just have to try to guess which is the right way. This tile set tends to split at the end. Not need to go that way, it doesn't look like. Normally top right, you don't want to like look up guides or anything. Typically top right gets you to the right place in lab like 90-something% of the time. You just go up and to the right. Sometimes it will burn you, and it will burn you bad when it does, but like 90% of the time it's pretty much okay just to go top right. Alright. Let's go, Zaro. Hey, I remember to curse him. That's good. Alright. Curse. Welcome in. Just doing Azaro for first lab. And trying to get through this without dying. And if so, we're in a really good spot. Really, really good spot. And we're on the right track. It's awesome, awesome. Hey, I will take it. I will take it. Actually, I should get that circulate as well. Circulate's probably an upgrade. Okay, get those two. All right, any goodies, any goodies. Thunder, sure. We will take thunder. All right. So all these are blank. So this gives us this. Okay, let me get my little cheat sheet here on the passives. There it is. All right, so if we go, this is Heartstopper. This is Unflinching. This is Noxious Strikes. So the majority of our damage is going to come from poison. So this will give us the biggest ramp up in damage. Unflinching will give us the biggest ramp up in and survivability. At this point, because we kind of are going to be getting more damage right here, I think we're going to go survivability. Bam. Okay, so now we get all of the endurance charges. And we should be on full endurance charges most of the time, and we get a +1 max. And we also have some built-in regen for endurance charges already, just from our pathing, so we should be quite a bit tankier now. And we'll see how that goes, because damage is like not great, but it's okay, and I can always get Noxious Strikes next. And that'll crank up the damage quite a bit. But I already will have that baseline survivability, which will be fantastic. And so we'll kind of just see how this goes. Right. So we're going pretty well so far. All right. Now, we just need to hop through this guy. Then we'll get a skill point from the next zone's reward, which will be very, very helpful. Ooh, Remnant of Corruption, I will do that. Absolutely do that. You never can have too many remnants of corruption. It's good. Oh. Just not doing me any more stuff around. Come here, guys. Give me flash charges, thank you. There we are. Doing pretty good there. Let's see what this helmet is. We need a little more int. Dex, Golden Lightning. How are we looking on reses? We are not where we can start playing around with that. Okay. We'll just move on forward then. You'll just move on forward. Now, let's just kind of pop up on here. Need all the scrolls still. Alright, so life regen, bane of my existence. Rip. So close. So close. Okay, let's get this skill point allocated, even though this does nothing. Mana regeneration is good. Wait, did that say increased cost? Should be okay, it's only 5%. 5%'s not that bad. Passed by a lot of like really good bread stuff. It's like trying to tell me to play breads, but I'm not gonna buy in. We're gonna do the poison thing. At least for now. We may change like it maps or whatever, but I doubt it. So it'll probably be sacred. Let's go. Fan of getting sacred. Do need some int somewhere. So hopefully we can get a good amount of int somewhere pretty soon. That'd be nice. Like to switch to that other helmet. Man, having unflinching's so nice for survivability. Like the stuff that's giving me a hard time now is like life regen stuff, which is just gonna kind of give me a hard time. Oh, my auras are turned off. That is also a biggie. Forgot about that. Fix that. So once we can get the love you unflinching. Love you. get some good regen. Now we should be having less problems with some of these guys. We were having some big problems there, and I think most of that was just due to not having Malevolence on. Now this is due to just the mods that are stacked right there, I think. Like Possessed, he's kinda bad for this kind of build. Rip. Rip, rip, rip. Alright, so we're very near where we need to be to get that skill point. I may just beeline it and rush in there and grab it and just keep moving, because that might be the best bet. And then we can kind of go from there. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Welcome into the stream. Happy to talk to you. Alright, let's just grab this and jet on out of that. Let's not deal with the possessed nonsense. Yep. Y'all can just stay back there. Okay, great. You could just turn in your TPS reports. That would be fantastic. Okay. Alright, so now we just need to get to the exit here. And then we'll do our branching paths. Oof. Where did I go wrong? Ah ha ha ha. I seize it. Can I make that jump? No, I cannot make that jump. That's I'm pretty sure this little enclave down here gonna go the right direction, since that one didn't. Just means I have to get through this nonsense. You'll notice like I kind of save flame dash for stuff like that, where I just need to skadoosh out of there. Yeah. That's the right path. Cool. We are on the right track. We're on the right track. Here in just a little bit, we'll get Raider Volley and GMP, and that'll be huge. Then we just need to worry about AoE after we get the poison node, and we'll be in a really good spot. Need to look into where I can get area of effect stuff. Actually, streaming a little longer than I was originally anticipating, but we're having a good time, so we'll just keep on going. We'll just keep on going. Keep trucking along. We'll probably break in a little bit for lunch and things, and I may stream a little bit more this afternoon. Okay, just take it a little easy for a bit. So I kind of want to hit 38 now and get to poison and see how everything's feeling. Chaos. Now I am on Solo Self-Found, so it's not that I'm going to be using the Chaos 2. I'm going to be using the... Ooh, that's nice. I'm going to be using the Chaos to reroll items, not really at this level, but as I get further on. Oh, hey, hey, hey. We got some potential here. So let's get rid of most of this stuff. What's that one? Shield is. That's a pretty decent amount of evasion for this early on. We can. Oh, that's really nice. Okay. Let's see what this shield is. What that helmet is. Let's. Is good. Good. Shield's pretty good. Gloves are okay. Better than what I have. What do we got here? Fire res. Armor innovate. May go ahead and just do something with these. I know that 18 dex is nice. The ES, but this has attack speed and life and a little bit of fire, and I kind of need all the reses I can get right now. So that is unfortunate. Hey, 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 hey. Crafting recipe. Go back to town. Let's save that. Well, I'll probably roll this more link up and see what we get. See if it's better than current chest. Okay, we got life, fire res, lightning, and this has evasion, evasion. Yeah, this is weight. So we'll go ahead and swap these out. I have to keep poisonous concoction. We probably want to scale these the same, but we could probably go ahead and move into efficacy or unbound ailments, which would be library. We might actually want to go ahead and get both of those just so we have them. Unbound ailments. Zero. So I need you. All right, let's grab 2 transmutes real quick and buy both the skill gems. Bring just to be on the safe side. Never hurts to have too many because you never know what else you're gonna just see and be like, oh yeah, I need that too. All right, so we need to get unbound ailments, that will go right in there, and efficacy, which can go on my offhand to and then let's go ahead and switch out these gloves for this. It's 4 linked and I kind of need slots at this point. And it is a blue and a red, which means that we can hopefully get this set up for caster damage taken pretty easily. Which is, I need 2 reds, perfect. All right, and let's go ahead and hit that and see what we get. We got lightning res and dex and fire damage. That's good enough, I guess. Okay, so that's void manip. Okay, efficacy. Can I put that in anywhere else? Despair, flame dash. Not really, unless I get out of the helm. Just plague bearer, which isn't doing a whole lot yet, but it will do a lot more later. We can use that shield and do that and just kind of stock everything away over there and then go ahead. Oh. Dex. That is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Let's see what this is. Okay, and then this one is more ES. I can probably go ahead and sell an upgrade flask real quick. At least get 1 or 2 of the next level flasks. We got a giant. Yeah, just. Okay, so we'll save this for right now, and I'll mess with it later. I do still need to get efficacy can go right. Cool. Now I need a guard skill, which that should be very easy to get. It'll just be a scroll of wisdom, I believe, for my guard. Yep. Now we got steel skin, and then we'll just set this on move only. That'll be nice to have. Sorry, taking a little bit just to kind of situate a couple of things real quick and make them more amenable to our current situation. And get that skill point, and we'll go ahead and get our mana regen. Next is devotion, so that'll give us some life and extra effective consecrated ground. That'll be nice. That'll be our next point. Is there anywhere that I don't need yet? I do actually want to change that one. I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. To the ES. I feel like that's just really good. Really good. Alright, now we got to do Dahlias. Let's go Dream first, and then we'll do Combs second. And that will get us into all the projectiles, which will be very handy. Still need int. Hopefully we get some int pretty soon. That's the one downside of Krangeled, is it seems that you're always in more of an attribute struggle than you normally are. It seems like less pathing nodes are actually attributes, and they're normally like some minor something that most likely doesn't apply to you, but sometimes it does, and it's really nice. Pick up all those just to see what we got. Yeah, give me that life. Give me that life. Okay, then this one is damage and mana. That's a good node for us. We like both of those things. Damage and the manas. Both are handy. So if you're wondering why I'm always at full endurance charges, I have unflinching in my passives. I went ahead and went survivability first just because my life is still a little low for where I'd like it to be by this point. And so scaling life gets a little more tricky with Krangeled as well. But we're trying to beeline it over to poison, as poison gives us a lot more damage, getting that poison mastery. Even one of them's really, really big, as most of our damage is already poison, and it will just continue to escalate essentially. Can't remember what the base chance is. I think it's like 40%, and then we should get another 40% from Noxious Strikes, which will be our next Ascendancy node. That'll put us at 80. And then if we do, so we need 20% from somewhere else as far as chance to poison, and hopefully we don't have to use skill gems or anything like that to get to 100% poison chance. And we can, after we get this poison mastery, we can start focusing on area of effect. Not sure exactly where I'm at this point. But I know I need to get up to 38% AoE to get 100% overlap with every projectile on GMP and greater volley. So we got a little bit of scaling that we'll need to do, but not too terribly much. The other thing that's nice about playing Poisonous Concoction is the superior version of the gem, which is if you get it to 20 and use a GCP, drop it down to 1 and get 20 quality. It does give us 20% AoE, so it gets us halfway there if we have to go that route. Hopefully we don't. Hopefully we can just naturally get it before then, because I would like to be scaling it earlier rather than later as far as the poison overlaps. Because that is the goal of this, is just overlap all the poison and just scale the damage off the poison and do broken things. Like, the damage is getting there, and we're about to get an extra 4 projectiles from both of those, because both of those are +2. So we'll get 2 more from GMP, and we'll get 2 more from Greater Volley. Be fantastic. So each of those will go from 3 to 5. That'll give us 11 total. Pretty good. Ooh. Gimme. Those are good colors. And I think I'm getting my boots ready for cast from damage taken, so it probably won't matter, but that's alright. Alright. Hopefully we can get a little more int soon so I can level up gems. What is off? 30 is off. Even though I'm not sure I need to level up clarity any more than I already have. I may not. Yeah. Bounce out of that. I just bounce out of that. So next we will up through all this. And this league is the... Okay, so we have 10 days, I believe, on Krangeled. I can get through a couple acts. A session, I'll be in pretty high hopes on this. And won't be pushing too hard. We only technically need to get to 50 to start hitting reward tiers on the event. And you'll, of course, are more than welcome to follow along with my tree if you need me to hold it there for a med or anything. You know, basically doing Poisonous Concoction Pathfinder goodness. Just hoping for the best. Oh, I mean, I know this will carry us to 50 at this point pretty easily. Boss damage isn't quite where I want it to be just yet, but it's not too terribly far off either. So helps if... Where's my Plague Bringer? That would give me another layer of boss damage. That would be very nice indeed. So slow. Alright. Come on, dress up. No one likes you being alive this long. Time to go in your hole. Sounds like fix that after this. thought I had enough in there not to have to loop it, but clearly that was not the case. All right, let's pop this. There we go. Now we got music back. All right, we can bounce out of here. Check a couple of these real quick, see where we're at. You got any gems? Oh, that might be an upgrade. 29. Yep. That's a winner. Any of these goodies? Goodies. That adds dex and life and some strength. Oh, it's the int. It's the int that I really need from that, not the dex. Interesting. Have an int on any of this stuff? Ooh. Daddy likes that. 60 flat life. That's big at this point juncture. All right, let's sell. All right, we got the Eye of Desire. Let's go ahead and hop over and get the turn that in and go do Combs Dream. Then after this gets done, I will most likely take a break for a little bit and I will try to figure out how to raid somebody. Because I've not done that before on Kick. And so we'll try to do that. We'll find somebody for everybody. And then I'll probably take a little break for a little while, and then I will likely be streaming a little more today after eating lunch and unwinding for a bit. So feel free to follow if you'd like to see some more later. It doesn't cost you anything. I don't care if you have the email setting turned on or off. None of that matters to me. But I do appreciate the support. Alright, let's see where we are here. Okay, so let's kill some stuff and then we can go grab that skill point. Big boys. Alright, where are you? You're down here. Okay, that's an easy hitter. Alright, so let's get damage and mana, which gives us int, finally, yay. We need that int node desperately. Desperately need that int node. Alright, so from here, just kind of snake around this. We're probably gonna avoid the boss down here, so we may Fill a little bit on this stairwell just to keep that XP flow going. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm always happy to help, or attempt at least to answer any questions. If I don't know something though, I will tell you I don't know. That is something I am a big fan of. Then from there, let's get through this. That's just a lot of stuff grouped together that I do not want to deal with right now. Like quite a bit of it. But, all right, here we go. Next area, and then we'll get our little waypoint, which is fantastic. Oh, no, give me that recipe, please. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate you dying so I can get my recipe. Yeah, we'll just kind of drag this along for the funsies. Need that int though. So far we're doing really well in strength and dex, so I'm kind of surprised on that and kind of happy. Like that's pretty positive. Pretty positive. I want those rings. I want those accessories. Why do you do this to me, game? Alright, so now we just need to kill a little bit more. We're almost to the boss. Should be very, very close. And we just gotta kill a boss, and that gives us all the extra projectiles. And that'll put us probably at like a 3-ish hour stream, which is good. Yeah, there we are. All right. Do some killing on King Kong. Oof. Oof. Don't die, don't die. Alright, sweet. Covered. Recovery frames. He's almost dead now. I can probably just burn. Nice. All right. So let's go give this to Diala. We will get all of our wonderful skill gems. Okay. And let's see if we can all right, so we're gonna get GMP and replace LMP with GMP for obvious reasons. And now we need to get Raider Volley. Now let's see how to raid here. Is there a raid? Not seeing it. Let's see if we can search this up real quick. Okay. It's saying there should be a host version. But I have not seeing a way to do that though. So I think I am going to call it here for now. Blissful Ignorant, let me go ahead and just put his thing. If you want to continue watching Path of Exile, feel free to, let me hop over to mine real quick. Let me post the link. Feel free to hop over and tell him what's up. I cannot find how to host, but I will look that up for next time. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will probably come back on around 4 p.m. Central Time, so here in about 3 hours. Feel free to check out Blissful Arrogance. He is also playing Path of Exile, and I will catch you later. Have a great rest of your day, Exiles. this works.